Today I thought I'd show you how to make one of my favorite summer fruits, some cherries. So whether you're going to make a big box like I did, or you're just going to make a few for a small display, they're really pretty easy to make. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to make them. Alright, first let's talk about the cherry stems. For the cherry stems we're going to use some green thread, but we need to make it stiffer. And this green is just kind of a, I don't even know what color green you would call this. It's just something that was kind of sort of close to the color of the cherry stems. It could be a little more on the olive side than this, but this is fine. It's just something to, you know, look like a stem, and it needs to show up. So we need to cut a piece of it. So you need scissors, and you'll need scissors later too, so don't put those away. You also need tacky glue and a wet wipe, because what we are going to do is we're just going to put the glue out on our finger. I'm going to squeeze our finger and thumb together, and we are going to run this through the glue. And now this needs to sit someplace and dry. And you'll want to wipe that off your fingers because that is really nasty. Alright, so that's what we need for the stems. Let me pick up this wet piece of thread and I'll show you what we need for the cherries. Right, for the cherries, I'm using Primo's crimson color because this was a really good match for my cherries. It looks really good. We also will need a place to put our cherries. And I put mine into a box like this. I will do a demo on this box. I haven't showed you how to make this one yet, but I will show it to you in a few weeks. You could put your cherries into a bowl or on a plate, or you could just put them loose. You could put them in whatever you want to. For my fruit stand, I'm putting them in a box. And if you've got a big container that you can't see through the bottom, you can cheat like I did and use some liquid Sculpey to glue some clay in the bottom. And check out the blog because the link will be in the description box below. I have some pictures of my box of cherries with that in the bottom, because you can see that even filling the bottom up, it still took a lot of cherries. So also, what else do we need? We need a clay knife. And we need a pointy tool. Now I'm using my dental pick, but I have also used a sewing pin in the past. That'll work too. Whatever you've got that's got a good point to it. And you need that thread that we made the stems out of. Now for the majority of the fill in here, I just made little balls of clay, which is part of what we are going to do. So let's start out by getting our clay ready. It's our crimson clay. And we're just going to roll it out and cut kind of small pieces because I don't like working with a huge piece at once. We're going to make a snake about the size you want your cherry to be. And you, like with all food, you need to look at your food. It's a good idea to have it with you. The cherries are not completely round. They're kind of flat, which makes them a little bit easier. And they've got a dent in the top where the stem goes in. So for the majority of my box, I just made little balls. And I put those in there. But now I'm up on top. So I need them to look more like cherries. Let's cut a bunch of little pieces. This is how I like to work. I like to cut a bunch of little pieces. And let's cut some pieces of stem thread. And I'm cutting these a little long. They're, you know, I know that cherry stems aren't this long, but hopefully I can trim them back as I'm working, after it gets baked. But they're really hard to work with if they're any smaller than that. So we make a little ball. Now let's see if I can get Where are we? Come on. Let's see. There we go. Let's see if I can do this. And I cannot work in the camera. I'm going to try my best to keep this where you can see, but I have to look at it too. So I've got a hole. Now, pick up the stem. I'm trying not to keep my fingers in your way. And just put the stem in there and kind of hold and kind of squeeze it shut. And drop it in your display. Now, one thing I will say, that when I made the box, when I filled the box up with the just plain balls of clay, I actually cut little pieces of the same thread that I'm using for stems, and I scattered them in at the bottom. So even some of the stems that we can see here, some of those that are down the bottom, they aren't actually attached to anything. They're just in between the little balls of clay. It helps if you wet your finger a little bit to pick this thread up. Now, where's the camera? There's the camera. And just sneak it in there. And it's okay. Cherries are, as you can see, they're a little flat. So that works. Their shape is very similar. And lay it in our box. Okay, I'm going to back the camera up a bit. Let's make a hole. And it's okay if they're not perfect, because they aren't perfect in nature. Ah, that one won't go in. Come on. There. But anyway, just use whatever container goes in your scene. A bowl of cherries would be really cute, just sitting on your dollhouse kitchen counter, as far as that goes. Or maybe just lay some out on a piece of paper towel or something, and lay them on the counter. That would be really cute too. There. So there, oops, I meant to go in. There are our cherries. So now there's cherries to go in the fruit stand. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and tune in next week to see what we do then. I'll talk to you later. Bye.